primary care is not always sexy. It's more sexy to talk about, where the blood is. That's where you can see the blood, the surgery, the emergency rooms. But could we have reduced some of those? Could we save $1 billion by doing upstream care? And I think we can. I'm a family doctor in Surrey. I grew up in Surrey. I was born at the hospital where I'm now the head of family practice. And I work with my family, which is kind of neat. We have a family practice. My two brothers, my wife.
Family practice.
Family squared practice.
I am a nurse by clinical background and also a professor at University of British Columbia. And so I'm all about primary care and how do we make primary care a strong foundation of the healthcare system? And then how do we help patients access that strong foundation of the system?
My name is Jennifer Atchison. I'm a coordinator with the Physician Quality Improvement Team out of Fraser Health. Love health policy. I absolutely love it. I want to be part of developing effective change in the healthcare system, especially for marginalized populations.
There are a lot of infrastructure things missing. Essentially, what we've set up is the ability for fee-for-service clinicians to not necessarily operate in the best interest of the community and potentially operate in the best interest of the bottom dollar within their clinics. So we have everybody working in different silos with different priorities and potentially their own different mandates, but it's all publicly funded. And then how do you manage that?
Policy is a combination of different things. So there's the timing of what it is that you're trying to move forward. Then there's the opportunities. So are the policy makers interested in that? And then there's kind of the context of what's going on. So right now, trying to address systemic racism and discrimination.
What needs to happen in policy?
Yeah, well, I think that early access to equitable care is what everybody needs, despite wherever they come from, right? I think everyone needs to be mindful of each other's experiences, and that comes in with the intergenerational trauma of the Indigenous people. It comes from the experiences of refugees. It comes from people who have lived here for a long time, but they're technically white settlers, and maybe they're dealing with other things such as poverty, or maybe they're a marginalized group for some other reason. I think that no matter who you are, privileged as well, everyone should be able to access the care that they need. We need to meet them where they are. And I think sometimes that's kind of overseen a little bit.
We ought to have, move some resources upstream to school-aged children, to parenting training potentially, because of the consequences that we know with the compounded interest of unresolved trauma. And primary care is not always sexy. It's more sexy to talk about, where the blood is. That's where you can see the blood, the surgery, the emergency rooms. Often people with significant trauma histories, they get really sometimes turned off by their initial interactions with healthcare, because it can be triggering. It can trigger them and trigger a fight or flight response and a flight response often, and that results in them disengaging from care. And that disengaging from care reduces their ability to access any coaching or any ideas or resources that could actually get them more well. And then so our lack of use of a trauma and violence informed and trauma responsive methodology or training is costing us millions and potentially billions of dollars because of disengaging from care early on in disease processes.
If you enjoyed that trailer, don't forget to click the thumbs up and subscribe. You can find the link to the full-length episode in the description below.